The title of this mini podcast is Throwing Caution to the Wind. You've probably heard the old saying, don't take any wooden nickels. It was basically a warning. Be careful, don't get taken in. When you're young, though, caution usually isn't running the show. We jump, explore, and try things just because they look interesting. Then somewhere along the way, the wind feels stronger, the stakes feel higher, and we start hunkering down. What I'm really talking about here is fear. Fear promises safety. It says, stay where you are, nothing bad will happen. The problem is, it often keeps us from the very experiences that make us feel alive. One of my teachers used to say, the ripe fruit is out on the skinny branches. In other words, the good stuff usually isn't found in the safest place. Now, I'm not suggesting reckless behavior here. Age gives us one real advantage. We've met enough windbags and snake oil salesmen to know that not every risk is worth taking. Experience teaches discernment. But there's a difference between discernment and hiding. Golfers have a phrase for this: risk and reward. When a ball ends up in the woods, a player can attempt a difficult shot or take a penalty and move to a safer spot. Sometimes the risky shot works beautifully. Most of the time, it doesn't. Life works much the same way. Before we act, we usually get a signal. Something inside says, this feels right, or this doesn't. The trouble is we often talk ourselves out of listening. We start debating, analyzing, and imagining disasters until fear becomes the loudest voice in the room. And when fear gets that loud, we stay in the woods. Here's something I've noticed. If you spend a long time arguing with yourself about a decision, there was probably an initial signal before the argument started. Your inner barometer already leaned one way or the other. The real skill is learning to notice that signal again. Sometimes it tells you, go ahead, this will stretch you. Other times it says, not this one, walk away. Either way, you're no longer being pushed around by fear. You're making an adult decision with your eyes open. That, to me, is the mature version of throwing caution to the wind. Not ignoring wisdom, but refusing to let fear keep you from the branches where the ripe fruit grows. All the best, John.